Canelo versus Cotto. It will happen. We are making the rounds. Jim Basketball alongside Brian Campbell. Nigel Collins, the Hall of Famer, will join us in a moment. Middleweight world champion Miguel Cotto to defend his title against the former unified junior middleweight title holder Canelo Alvarez. A November 21st HBO pay-per-view from Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. They'll meet at a catchweight of 155 pounds, which is where Cotto was when he knocked out Sergio Martinez to win the middleweight championship. Brian, size up this fight with regards to how you think the duo match up.
They match up incredibly well, which is why we're so excited about this. A true 50-50 fight at the highest level. Look, style-wise, I think they're going to settle into their roles that play to their strengths. Cotto, the more experienced and skilled boxer. You look at Canelo, a guy who we perceive to be the biggest puncher in this matchup. He'll have advantages in being 9 years younger, having a 2-inch height advantage, a 3-inch reach advantage, but they do match up so well. If there's one thing separate them, maybe it's the size and the youth in Canelo's favor, but for Cotto, maybe it's the fact that when you look at these two guys, Jim, the biggest weapon between the two just might be Cotto's left hook, the most dangerous weapon in the fight. It's going to be very interesting when these two trains finally collide, how it breaks down. You got to be. It's exciting. You got to be pumped up.
It's exciting because it's quality on both sides right here. Nigel Collins, it's Puerto Rico versus Mexico as well. No love lost between these two countries when it comes to boxing. How much more intense will this fight be because of that factor?
Well, both Canelo and Cotto were already highly motivated, ambitious fighters. So there's going to be some intensity regardless of where they're from. But the Puerto Rican-Mexico rivalry will put the intensity off the charts. A lot of boxers will tell you that they're fighting for this or that, but they're really fighting for the money. That's the truth of the matter. But when you have your country behind you and counting on you so much, it gives you a little bit more pressure, like Manny Pacquiao always had to carry the Philippines on his back. And these two guys are in similar positions in the continuation of one of the greatest rivalries in boxing history.
Absolutely. Brian, I mentioned the catchweight of 155. How much does this play a role in how this fight ultimately plays out?
I don't think it will at all, which is refreshing because catchweights in recent time, get a very negative quality around them. But I think in this fight, look, Cotto never weighed more than 155 at a weigh-in for a fight. The same with Canelo. He's been right around that 155 mark in each of his last 3 fights. I think we're in a position where you're not going to see an asterisk affect how these two match up, Jim, which is very interesting and good because we're trying to find out if Cotto's recent resurgence is sort of an asterisk situation, fighting injured guys, fighting catchweight situations. It looks so good with Freddie Roach. Is it all we can believe it is? We're going to find out in this fight. You got to be excited.
Absolutely. Hey, Nigel, this is the third major pay-per-view fight this fall. Clearly, it's huge with the Puerto Rico versus Mexico angle, but how might these two fighters play to the casual fan?
Well, it's true that this is not going to have the crossover appeal of Mayweather and Pacquiao. But you got to remember that boxing is year in and year out supported by the hardcore fans, not the crossover audience. And there's few fans that are more hardcore than the Mexicans and the Puerto Ricans. So I see this as pretty big. I think it's going to go over 1 million pay-per-view buys.
Absolutely. That's a look ahead at Canelo Cotto, and we are making the rounds only in the boxing page here on ESPN.com. For the Hall of Famer Nigel Collins, as well as my partner Brian Campbell, I'm Jim Basketball. Thanks for watching.